Hi, my name is David Fleming from the Disciples Ignited YouTube channel, where we are focused on Jesus, advancing his kingdom, and preparing his disciples. Now, we started this new series called Bible Treasures, where we're going to be taking some passages found throughout the scriptures, and we're going to spend 1 week per passage and just look at it together and meditate upon it. And hopefully you're going to begin to memorize these scriptures. There are ones that I have memorized myself, and they have meant so much to me. Now, this week we're in Hebrews chapter 4, verses 15 and 16. So as we get started, let me read that to you from the NIV. For we do not have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses, but we have one who has been tempted in every way, just as we are, yet was without sin. Therefore, let us draw closely to the throne of grace with confidence, so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. Now, today we're going to be looking at this very first part of the scripture where it says, we don't have a high priest who is unable to empathize with our weaknesses. Now, that's really a negative way of saying that we do have a high priest who is able to empathize with us. Now, the Greek word for empathize literally means to sympathize. So what this means is when Jesus looks at us, and he sees us with all of our need and sometimes where we have sinned and we have fallen and we have just made a mess of things. Jesus looks at us with empathy. He sympathizes with us. Now, we've got to go back to yesterday's lesson and where we talked about how Jesus has been tempted in every way just as we have. All the hardships that mankind suffers through, Jesus understands because he's gone through it too. Except the main difference is Jesus never sinned. Through it all, through all the suffering, through all the disappointments, through all the hardships of life, Jesus never sinned. He continued to put his full trust in God, and God the Father always saw Jesus through to victory every time. But when Jesus looks at us and he sees us in, like I said, in our sin, in our need, in our mess that we so often get ourselves into, he looks at us with empathy because he understands. Now, this means so much to me because there's so many times when people have seemingly overcome through hardships. It's easy for them to look at people maybe that have not done so well and say, well, just get your life together. Get it together. And so they're not really sympathetic at all. But if anybody had a right to be judgmental and prideful about his own overcoming and victory, it would be Jesus. But Jesus is not like that. Jesus turns to us with empathy, with understanding. He's not looking at you with like a baseball bat just ready to knock your head off because you failed. He's looking at you, seeking to draw you close to himself. He sympathizes because, see, he understands what we're made of. He understands that we are just needy people that need him. And so he turns to us with sympathy, with empathy, with compassion, with love, and he's drawing us to himself. Oh, but there's so much more in this verse. So I want to encourage you to look over Hebrews chapter 4, verses 15 and 16 and begin to meditate on these two verses and start committing it to your memory. It's going to mean so much to you as you continue to meditate upon this verse throughout your life. So I'll see you tomorrow because there's more to unpack from these two verses. So I'll see you tomorrow.